Hey, what's going on guys? Mark back on the River Taff on Mark's Aquatics. Right, on this little episode we're going to be looking for some minnow fry. We're also going to be looking for stickleback fry, and they're all going to be coming down this lovely river, as you can see behind me there, going all the way up and all the way down there. Now where we're going to go is just over there. I'll spin the camera around because I don't know where I'm looking at the moment. I'm getting all confused. Right, that's better. Get rid of my ugly mug, and now we can see where we're going. Look at that, that's absolutely stunning down here today. It's not a breath of wind. We've got a huge hatch of dragonfly nymphs and midges and mosquito larvae. Everything's going crazy. You can see loads of little trout ringing on the surface where they're coming up and they're taking the insects as they're hatching off the surface, as well as some of them taking them out of the air earlier on. But we just heard one down there then. See that ring just over there? That was a trout, just came up and grabbed something. But it is absolutely alive. Now this time of the year, what happens is the minnows come up into the shallows, right up into the shallows here, and this little corner here is absolutely fantastic for them. I can see them in there in a minute. Now they're going to be in their thousands, and they're going to be spawning, because you can see that water rippling there right in the corner. We'll get a bit closer in a minute, but I wanted to make sure you could see how many was actually in there. Now I've got a bucket and a net. Now it's not the adults that I want, it's the babies, the fry that I'm after, because I've been watching them for the last couple of weeks and they've been building up in numbers and they've been coming up into this little corner. Now this happens in every little corner all the way down the river, which goes for miles. There's absolutely billions of trout, minnows in this in the river, and they're the most prolific species of fish in Britain. And but we're going to get some of the fry hopefully. But because I've always found, and I've tried to keep minnows in the past, and I find that they just don't settle in tanks because they like that faster running water, and you find that that they jump a lot, and they'll jump out your tanks. And the 6-foot paludarium that we're going to put these things in, these fry in, like I said, they spook very, very easily. And I'm not going to go for the adults. We're going to go for some lovely little fry. So I'm going to keep you posted now. So what I want you to do is keep looking in that corner there as we walk towards it slowly, okay? I'll pick up my net and my bucket here and we'll slowly walk towards it, okay? And hopefully you'll see them, and there'll be vast numbers of these guys in there spawning. You can see them jumping out the water. If I go nice and steady, I can see them. Oh my goodness, there's absolutely thousands of them right up in the shallows. You see them going? Now try and go as careful as I can. They're all holding in the current here. They come up into these little shallows, like I say, in the mud. They lay the eggs. They'll lay billions of eggs, and hopefully there'll already be some fry from a month back. They normally come up about 3 or 4 times a year into the shallows throughout the summer to do this. I don't know if you can see them. They're starting to move off. And there is loads of fry there as well. That's absolutely fantastic. Can you see those minnows? I've got the sun on in my eyes, but I'm not sure if you can see them through the water there, how many there is. Well, what we're after, let me put my bucket down. That wind's starting to pick up now, but if you look down here, look at that lot. Now that is all minnow fries. There could be some gudgeon in there, there could be some trout parr, there could be a manner of all different fry because they hang together, sticklebacks. So what I was going to do, and if you can see those there, look how many minnows there is there. And they're coming right back. As long as you're still, they're that focused on breeding that they'll come back and they'll do it. And they'll be all flicking together, releasing the eggs. Now you can see out there on the gravel where the stronger current is washing everything away. But then they come in from the deeper water and they come into these little silty ponds. It's just like it's a very light sort of broken down organic material, and that's where the eggs sink under. And look how many fry there is. Absolutely thousands of them. Brilliant. Here they come. Can you see them? If I keep very, very still, they might come right underneath. It's very hard for me to see because I've got the sun behind me on my camera, so Hello, Mr. Damselfly. Oh, look, he just spooked him. Little trout jumped behind me there. Look at that. Yes, like I said, guys, if you catch the minnows, I always find that they jump out the tanks. They just don't take well, but when you get the babies, they'll grow up in the tank. They're less scared, and we can bring them on because I've got lots and lots of Daphnia and mosquito larvae and things at home up in my ponds that I can feed these little guys with, and we can bring some on. I think it's going to be nice. So if we can get a load of little baby different things in there, they'll grow up in the tank. It's going to be a lot nicer than taking the adults from here, I think. But like you say, there's not a shortage of them. Look. Right, I'm going to get some of these in a bucket. I'm going to carefully net around. I'll put some in my bucket, then we'll go back to the workshop, okay? And then we'll have a little look around and we'll stick some in the tank, I think. That spooked them with me getting up. Right, let's get some of these babies. Okay guys, we're back in the workshop now. I've transferred these guys to another bucket. Here's a little bit of a close-up for you. I've put some in here and I've put some in the little tank next door. Now some of these are minnows and some of these are baby sticklebacks as well. Now I'm not sure if I've got a couple of gudgeon in here. I'll just take you back up to the other tank where I've got some in. You can see the sticklebacks there. There's one there, there's another one over there. But we've got quite a few. Now there's a couple on the base as well. Now I'm not going to spook there, obviously they're very spooky. But that could be a gudgeon there. Look at that one right on the bottom. He looks like he's got a long little face like a gudgeon. Focus, dude. There he is, right on the bottom there. So it's going to be really interesting as these guys get older in the tank and they start coming out and they start taking the food, and they're going to tame up a lot better. Like I said, those wild minnows do leap out of the tanks. I've got quite a few here. Obviously we're going to lose some, but the strongest ones are going to survive and the bigger ones. And then we should have a really good, nice little stock paludarium there. Paludarium's coming on really well. I put the sand in and I put the stones in. The wall is, actually some of you guys said about pothos. Now I've got a pothos now running across there instead of the vines that are here. I've just put them there for the time being, but I want to get that pothos going and it will cover all that along there and it'll be nicer being a living wall. But we've got lots going on. Wall's dripping away lovely. All that little dripper line. Someone's going to be very happy there when those minnows go in. We'll be watching them all day. But as you can see, I put some of that streamer weed in there as well, which I've got. Now obviously I can't use my power heads for the time being because they're going to get sucked into the pumps and get killed. So we're going to get rid of those for a while. I'll put some other creep-in thyme there, or mind your own business, which I've taken out from other ones. Some nice little logs, different things. Little waterfall there from that pre-filter. The filter at the back's running really well. Got some nice ferns and grass in this corner now as well, which wasn't in the last video. And I've put in another lovely log under there as well, which goes right to the surface. Another bit of pothos there, and some other little various bits which I've hidden under the moss. Now those roots will start growing around in no time at all with the nutrients in the water. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let these fish settle in. Let's go back to them. Going to let these guys settle in now. I'm going to feed them some Daphnia if they want to feed a Daphnia. I got some out of my little pond earlier. Look at that lot. Some little bloodworms as well. We can put them in there. I think they're a little bit big, but they just came out as I was scooping the Daphnia out. So I can see another one of those little gudgeons in there as well. He's swimming up the side of the bucket. A little bit more erratically swimming than the rest. There he is down on the bottom. It's going to be awesome to see them all go in. Now I'm going to do this later on in the evening because there's a lot of glare in here from my front door. As you can see, it's just everywhere. So I'll wait till this evening, and I think then we'll put everything in, and then we'll have a good old look at them swimming around, and it's going to look pretty awesome, I think. So I'll see you guys later on this evening. Well guys, we're back. I've put the fish into the paludarium and they look absolutely fantastic. We've got quite a few, I should say, minnows in there. We've also got some little gudgeon. I'm going to give you some close-up shots in a minute, but there's some sticklebacks in there as well. If you have a closer look round, like I say, it's at night now. I've just turned all my pump off, my koi F, so it's all nice and quiet for these guys for a little bit. I've just overlit the tank so you can see these guys at their best. It's quite hard, like I said earlier on, in my workshop because of glare and different things. So I'm doing my best for you. I think they look absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I've got the logs under the water as well now. They're teeming with life as well. They've been in various other ponds that I've got outside, so they're teeming with microlife. Now I've been up into my garden and I've picked some Daphnia up out of one of my barrels, just netted a few out. And what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm just going to drip a few in, so you guys can see these little guys hunting away. And hopefully, they'll give you a little bit of a show. But I've got to get some of these Daphnia out of my pocket first. Put you down here. Pardon me a minute while I do some concentrating. Right, if you just watch now, you'll see the drips coming in. And these little Daphnia should start dropping in. And you may see these little chaps start having a go with them. Lots and lots of little bugs going in there. I've also got a load of baby brine shrimp hatching out in the coral room, so I'll give them a feed of those also, but they're not hatched yet, so we'll get into those a little bit later. But let's see if these little guys have a go. I know the sticklebacks would be big enough to take these. Some of them are having a go, as you can see, chasing them around. And it's surprising the mouths on these little minnows. Now minnows are omnivorous, they're going to eat most things. They eat little crustaceans in rivers, they eat plant matter, they'll eat insect larvae, all manner of things. And they will readily take to fish food, because all you anglers know when you go down to the rivers, if you pick these, if you chuck in your float in and you've got ground bait in, and these guys will come right up to the water's edge and they'll be readily feeding on it. There's a little gudgeon there, you can just see him in the middle of the screen hopping around, going up, chasing them. Look. They're fantastic little guys. It's going to be so nice to see these all grow up, and it'll be nice for you guys to watch them grow up as well in this system, and see how many make it, because I think some of them, I mean, they're all looking super healthy. As you saw down when we were down at the river, there was absolutely thousands upon thousands of them, and they're going to be breeding like that now for days and days. Then they'll disperse back into the river again, and then later on in the year it warms up again. It's normally when the rivers are nice and low like they are now, they'll come up into these shallow muddy pools and they'll spawn. But you can see the activity in there's picked up slightly. They're chasing these little bugs about, which is fantastic. Now right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you down into the tank, I think, and we'll try and get some little close-up shots of the fish for you, okay? There you go, there's a better shot, and you can see I've used the river pebbles. There's a little stickleback there chasing some of those Daphnia around. If you keep watching, they're all very, very small, and they're hard to take like individual pictures of, because they're always on the move. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my little pipette again, right close to the bottom. You'll see it go in, and I'll put a load of them right at the base, trying without scaring them. This pipette's quite clear, so it shouldn't spook them that much. You'll see it go in, and I'll just puff all these just down here, and we should see a little gathering, hopefully. Right then, let's see if we can get some close-up pictures up here. There you go, they're all chasing them around, look. Little sticklebacks. I think what I'll do, Oh, there you go. He had one, I think. I wasn't looking. But when the baby brine shrimp go in, guys, you'll see a complete difference. They'll go absolutely ballistic for those guys. They really will, because they're nice and small. And they'll be readily feeding on them. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll try and get you some super shots now of very close up different things which I've got in here. And we'll have a look from there. There you go, there's a little bit more of a close up. You can see a couple of gudgeon there, right in the middle there. Little long faces, hopping about. There you go. Oh. Very hard to keep it focused. There's one right there. They're quite cute little fish. Chasing those little minnow coming in for a look as well. A couple of minnows. You can see they're quite long fish. Quite a powerful little tail already for the size of the fish. And but these little gudgeon are fantastic. They're beautiful little faces, hopping about, blinking away. Little gills going. But they're quite happily chasing those little Daphnia about. I'll just see if now if I can find you some sticklebacks close up. Oh, here comes one without me having to move the camera. Look, he's coming to see what Mr. Gudgeon's eating, and he's having a look down there as well. Ah, it's brilliant. I'm glad he came to have a look. They normally go around the log, so we'll have a look around by the log to see if there's any more there. There's another one there. There's two in the frame there, right in the centre, and with a little gudgeon as well. Everyone looks nice and happy in there. Like I said, what I've done is as well, guys, if you've noticed earlier on, I've actually put a fully cycled canister filter on here as well, just for the time being, because of the amount of fish that I put in here. This has been running for quite some time. It is cycled, but I just wanted to be sure, because of the amount of fish that were going in here, that we didn't have a build-up of ammonia. So I've just put that on there as an added little bit of extra filtration. And everyone is looking and acting as normal, which is brilliant. There's quite a few actually. I've got more sticklebacks in there than I thought. As you can see, guys, I put all the river rocks in amongst the sand as well, which is from the river. Everything's from the river in here, completely native to the UK. All the things and all the fish in here as well. I'm not going to put anything in here that isn't from the UK. I'm going to pick up different fish as we go along, as we cycle properly and the bacteria builds up more and more. I'll add more fish. I think I'm going to put a couple of little tench in there, and maybe a couple of little common carp, or I know they're going to grow quick, but I can always put them in the pond later on as they grow. But they'll look great in there. They'll rummage about in amongst the rocks and the sand and clean all the debris out and rubbish, and these little guys will be cleaning up behind them. So we're going to try and make a right little ecosystem out of this. We'll have all kinds in here, because it's in my workshop, which is open to the air through my pond. You're going to have lots of little mosquito larvae and things that are going to be coming in here and laying their eggs in here, which is going to be completing that little nature cycle as well, which is going to be fantastic. But I'm loving these minnows. They're absolutely amazing. I mean, you see them in the rivers and you don't take a second glance at them normally, but when you see them in here and they're beautiful little black stripes through their body, they're absolutely fantastic. They really are. I think what I'll do now, guys, is I'll stick the lights on and we'll have a look at some of these little guys from the top and some of the mosses and different things that I've done as well. So it's finishing it. It's really, basically it's nearly finished. We've stocked it now, which is great. So time to enjoy it more. Oh well, I've just put the lights on. It's first thing in the morning again. Like I say, last night I put those little lights on for you to see, and I thought it was great, the underwater footage there. But as you can see, with the lights on and the glare, it's slightly different, because these babies are so small you can hardly see them when the lights are on. But all the mosses are going well, the dripper's working well, little kingfishers watching the minnows, all the ferns and things are in place, and everything's growing really well. Got some of that lovely streamer weed in there from the river, which is growing really well under these lights. I'll try and get you some top shots of the babies. There you go, there's all the babies, all the little fry whizzing about all the way through there. Some of that pothos, once that starts going, that's going to look really nice, I think. Just kept it a natural riverbed, just various stones dotted around the place as rivers are. Brilliant stuff. Quite happy with the way this is turning out. Nice little close up there for you. Look at that. Happy days. A mossy verse. Anyway guys, I hope you liked that little video there. I think it's a little bit longer than I normally do. And if you like the longer videos, let me know, and I can make longer videos. I always think people get bored watching them for too long. And I think it's my interest, and I just get carried away sometimes. But if you like them, let me know in the old comment section below. And I'll make longer videos for you. Anyway guys, as always, you're all stars. Thanks for tuning in and watching the video. Share it around as much as you like. Give it a thumbs up if you liked and enjoyed this video. And as always, you're all stars. Look after yourselves. Love you loads. And I'll see you on the next edition of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.